One powerful method to beating social anxiety. What's up, my friend? My name's David and welcome to my YouTube channel. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing a powerful method for beating social anxiety and also my experience with dealing with social anxiety. If you're new to my channel and you like personal and spiritual development videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below because I release new videos every Monday. And let's get started. Now, before we go any further, I just want to state that I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not necessarily qualified to be giving out social anxiety advice. However, I do know what worked for me, and I would like to share that with you. First of all, social anxiety can manifest itself in the body in three different ways, and those ways are physiological, cognitive, and behavioral. So physiological would be something like sweating, heart beating fast, maybe you feel really hot, you may even faint. Behavioral is obviously things that you do, behaviors. So maybe you avoid eye contact. Maybe you're so nervous that you start stuttering. Or maybe it's things that you don't do. It could be something like purposely avoiding a social situation. And cognitive is all the thoughts that are running through your mind, basically your thought patterns. I experienced social anxiety for quite a long time. I don't know exactly when it started, but it probably would have been late teens, early 20s. And I don't actually know the cause of it. I do know that I went to a therapist for a while. She was a psychologist. I had some hypnotherapy done, but it didn't really work for me. And the way I would deal with social anxiety would be and mostly subconsciously, I don't think I did this consciously, but I would drink a lot more so that I'd become more talkative in the hope that I'd be able to have a free-flowing conversation with whoever I was talking to. Because one of the biggest issues for me was the notion or the idea that I was really boring and that I had nothing to say to anybody. And that was something that I would play through my mind and future project me going to a party, let's say, or a social gathering and talking to somebody and not having anything to say to anyone. And as a result of that exact situation would happen. It became a self-fulfilling prophecy. And quite often I would sit there just not saying anything. And the weird thing was that around certain people, I was very talkative, quite normal, a normal social being, talkative and free-flowing and easy to have a conversation with. But in other situations around other people, it was the exact opposite. And I always found myself thinking, well, what if I say something stupid? Or what if nobody laughs? Or any number of 100 different, scenarios running through my head. So the weird thing about the alcohol was that, maybe it did make me more, maybe more confident or maybe more talkative. But after a while, it would get to the point where I overdid it. And then I would get even more anxious about being drunk, perhaps. So if you're liking this video so far, give me a thumbs up and vote in the card if you plan on beating your social anxiety. There are actually a lot of different ways that someone could overcome social anxiety, and I would recommend that if you are somebody that is socially anxious, that you'd go see a professional about it because they can help you. I know my experience didn't really help me, but there are a lot of different exercises and different ways to treat social anxiety. So finding the right person and the right treatment is important. But the biggest thing that I found that helped me was getting out of my comfort zone and putting myself into social situations on purpose whilst I was sober. And for me, that came in the form of approaching women on the street in broad daylight in London, because my dating life, I felt like it needed a big improvement. And one of the reasons for that was because perhaps I wasn't very good socially, although I know now that was a belief in my head that somebody told me I was shy when I was like 14, and that stuck with me for a very long time. That's just how life works. So going through the motions of getting in front of strangers and being forced to talk to them really made a huge difference, not just in my social life and the anxiety that I no longer had, but in other areas and the confidence that I had by doing that. And I guess another way that I think would be a good way to overcome social anxiety is when I think back about the reasons why, or one of my biggest fears, which was not having anything to say to anyone. I think finding a way around that would be to be learning about different things and being knowledgeable in a lot of different topics so that you can have conversations with people when those topics come up. And that was something I was not really doing at the time. I feel like I'm a lot more knowledgeable now, but at the time I was not really learning anything. I was just going to work and then drinking on the weekends, or I was learning stuff. I was learning stuff about accounting, which was boring as shit. So who's going to want to talk about that or listen to anyone talking about that? I didn't want to. So that was it. I think that's a big factor. If feeling like you're not going to have anything to say to anybody is a thing for you, then start learning about different things. Read a lot of books, watch a lot of documentaries or different movies. I mean, I liked talking about music. I liked talking about movies, but that's not a very deep conversation. I mean, it can be in some ways if you're really into movies or really into music, but a lot of people they kind of like music or they kind of like movies. They're not really coming from that point of, I like this part about the music. I really love listening to the drums or the bass line and listening to the drum, the syncopation of a song. That's about all I have to say about social anxiety. So if you've liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe below if you haven't already and you'd like to see more from me, because I release new videos every Monday. And until then, peace, much love, and take care.